Hey, how you doing? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another time here. Welcome to another time in the upper room, another opportunity and privilege to pray. Thanks for coming. I've been doing a study through the book of Proverbs. We're presently in Proverbs chapter 7, verse 21 to 23, and we're looking at a topic, temptation. That's what we've been looking at. We've been looking at it from different angles. We're looking at the channels right now about which temptation comes. We see that from First John chapter 2, verse 16. Tells us temptation comes by the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. We've been digging into the lust of the flesh. We've looked at it, trying to understand the flesh better. We've looked in Galatians chapter 5. We looked at what the works of the flesh is. We're presently looking at how to overcome the works of the flesh. We're looking at that by looking at the works of the Spirit or the fruit of the Spirit. We've looked at all eight, nine of them. We're the ninth one right now, which is self-control. We've been defining self-control, from different angles. And right now, we're just dwelling more to understand better self-control. Yesterday, we finished off by emphasizing the fact that self-control comes from our ability to reason, right? Our ability to reason helps us to be self-control. When we're not able to reason, we have less control of ourselves, and this is tied to the part of our brain that is called the prefrontal cortex, and when that begins to be developed, at age 5 to 7, thereabout, we begin to question, the impulses that we receive. Before then, we take everything that comes to us hook, line, and sinker. But when that comes, that becomes to be the gate of the things we receive, into our consciousness, and we see that in a small child, 5 to 7, begin to question why, and doesn't just do things, because he or she has been told to do it. And we say that is not fully developed until we're in our 20s. Some people say it's early 20s, some people say it's late 20s, some people say it's 25, midway through, but that's when it's developed, then we become matured. The development of that part of our brain, it's in a sense supposed to mark our full maturity, whereby we can begin to process the different impulses that hit us. We begin to decide, what to do about the things that are around us, the things that are impacting us, the things that are challenging us, how to harness the opportunities that are around us. We talk about the SWOT analysis. We begin to be able to reason out how to use our strength, how to shield ourselves from our weaknesses, how to harness opportunities, how to protect ourselves from the threat around us. That's what it does for us, thereby we're able to, control ourselves. We determine the amount of the measure by which we put into anything. We don't just go to thing and be out of control, but we know what to give to each thing, to worth and what to measure. That's what, the development of that part of our brain is supposed to give to us, thereby making us to be in control of how we give ourselves to things, right? Someone that is a workaholic is someone that is not using that part of his brain, because you're allowing the work to control you. When that part of our brain is fully activated, we're able to know how much of our time to give to what. We're able to share ourselves, in a balanced way across the important areas of our life, right? Thereby enhancing our self-control and our development and what we get out of life, the vitality in the richness of our life. Thanks, pride. So also talking about self-control, we talked about that self-control is a muscle, right? It's a muscle. But it's just the same way the muscle works, self-control is self-control. When we can build it, we have so much self-control at any point in time. Because at the same time, same way as we have so much muscle at every point in time, and that muscle can only carry certain limits of weight, depending on how much muscle we are built. The same way we can build our self-control to be able to withstand different types of temptation. You know, your self-control might be able to withstand one level or one type of temptation, but might not be able to. But might be too small for something else, you know. So some self-control is a muscle, is the ability to control ourselves, and that ability also has its own limitation. It's just like me carrying this bottle of water here right now. It's easy, but if I keep on holding it like this for a long period of time, it starts being easy. It begins to have a strain on my muscles. Same way, if you expose yourself to a particular temptation, it might be easy to say no at the beginning, but if you keep on exposing yourself there without taking a break, without dissociating yourself from it, you might get to a point where your self-control might give in because of the sustained exposure to that temptation. Self-control is a muscle, and you have to use it and manage it right if you want it to work for you. You cannot just expose it to just anything for any unnecessary long term of time. It might fail you if you do that. It's meant to help you in the immediate, and you come in and take yourself away from that situation or circumstance, not continually expose yourself to it. Self-control is a muscle. We need to use it right as a muscle that it is to work for us in the way it's meant to work for us, right? So it's just like a muscle. We'll go on and talking about self-control here. We'll talk about there are three types, right? Uh, there are three types, right, of self-control. You know, could be and it all ties to all the things we've said about that self-control helps us with. It could be what we call an impulse control, meaning that I don't react to impulses. I don't react to impulses. I'm able to hold myself because I suddenly see something doesn't mean I fall for it. Right? Impulse control. Right? You can see something, and for some people, just that impulse can just get them off. Right? It's not the passing thought that is seen. Any passing thought can pass anybody's mind. For as long as you don't dwell on it and you don't act on it, it's not sin. Sin is the dwelling and the doing. You can think of anything, you can even think of a doubt. It's not sin. It becomes sin if you dwell on it or you act on it, right? If you dwell on it or you act on it, then it becomes sin, right? But if it comes to you and you let it go, you let it pass, it's not sin. It becomes sin if you dwell on it or you act on it. That's what sin is, right? The other thing we'll look at is also what we call emotional control, right? Emotional control, being in control of my emotion, being on top of my emotion, having won over my emotion, not allowing my emotion to control me or to have one on me, right? It's movement control. They also have what they call concentration control. Some people don't know how to keep their concentration. One of the things my dear sister was talking about yesterday when we talk about people with HDHD and ADHD and all of that, not able to hold their concentration or stay in one place, right? But self-control goes with everything. It's the ability to hold myself, control my desires, control my impulses, control my emotions, control my desires, right? Control everything about me. You know, having mastery over self. That's what it is. I have mastery over myself. I have mastery over myself and everything that represents me. That is self-control, right? And uh, so let me one more. All right. So the next thing is we're going to look at several scriptures about first self-control. We'll leave that and do that tomorrow. We'll look at several scriptures that talk about self-control and see what we can soak from those ones. But we're gonna stop here for today. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Thanks. I hope you got something. I hope you got blessed. God bless you. See you same time here tomorrow by God's grace. Shalom.